Welcome to the Let's Discuss Gaming podcast. This is episode number 17. I am Triple J. Joining me is my co-host, Dr. Games 101.
What's up, guys?
And we got a bunch of subjects to talk about. The first one I have is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Um, did you hear about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, what the problem is?
I think it was some sort of like glitches or something in the game. Am I correct?
Not just glitches, bugs that actually make it impossible to finish the game.
Oh, it's that bad. So he can't finish the game at all, no matter how many times we restart the game or the
Right,
system.
because after you get to a certain part, some bug happens and it won't let you talk to anyone, and you have to talk to other people to accept missions.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't talk to anyone, the only thing you can do is roam around. So basically, it's impossible to finish the game, despite the game, and it's still in that shape, despite being released 6 months ago.
Man, time flies. 6 months already was released.
Yeah, and they still haven't fixed it.
But after 6 months, they never uploaded a patch to the network or to Xbox Live or PlayStation Network or anything like that.
From what I heard, no. People have
That's
been complaining
lazy.
about it. People have been complaining about it, but apparently it's either being handled very nonchalantly or not handled at all.
I have to say
And that
though.
was
Oh, go on.
go ahead,
I
go ahead.
want to say though, James, is that if people really want actual change within the company, you gotta talk with their wallets because I would not have purchased Valhalla right away. It looked good to
Right.
play, but for the last 5 years of all this unsteadiness in the game industry, from Fallout 76, Cyberpunk 2077, even games like Anthem. We were expecting the best of the best based upon what they showed to us at E3 events. But for the last couple of years, especially, it's like screw it. I'm not spending $60 on these type of games right away, let alone at preps at
Right.
all.
Well, the thing is, what separates Assassin's Creed from those other games is I always felt Assassin's Creed was a franchise you could trust.
Okay,
Sure, some games were better than other ones. Like I hate Black Flag.
really?
But on the other hand, I like Assassin's Creed Rogue. I like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I like what I played of Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay,
The
that's new.
beginning Assassin's Creed games, not so much. But I do like Brotherhood. I do have that for PS3. But the point I'm making is like when it came to the franchise Assassin's Creed, you you know what you know what to expect, but one thing you would never question until now was the game working like it's supposed to.
Okay.
Um, what do you have any experience with Assassin's Creed games?
I actually here's the funny part. I have the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Unity Xbox One bundle back around December 2014, and so far I'm only
Hmm.
at 2% done with Assassin's Creed Black Flag and about 1% done with this Unity after 5 or 6 years of having these games. So I have lack of experience and as well as attention towards them. They're not my kind of games per se, but I will play with others around a group of people. But other
Yeah,
than that, the game has good story, good graphics, especially the one from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That was the most prized game of almost among all Assassin's Creed fans and Assassin's Creed followers, like myself. So I like Assassin's Creed 4. I kept on to that for years on my hard drive. I never got a chance to play as much because of the time it takes to put into these games. You know what I'm saying? Because the content is so
right.
big. It's not like it's not like San Andreas where it's like a PS2 version you can complete like 3 4 missions within like what 30 minutes at most. But this is
Yeah,
like these missions last for about what 10 minutes, then 20 minutes and 30 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I don't have the kind of time that
yeah,
I used to.
yeah. Well, what I hate about Black Flag, because I did like it at first, was like once you get like I'd say about like 8 hours into the game, there was this sneaking mission, and I tried every way I could think of to like get past the guards because it was a stealth mission where if you were seen, the mission failed. And I tried every way I could think of, from the left, from the right, up the center, just trying to sneak past the guards, and I could not do it. I spent hours trying to get past that part, and after that, I gave up on it when I couldn't get past that part. Other than that, I did like the gameplay of Black Flag and if you like the gameplay of Black Flag, you'll like Rogue because in Rogue you also command a ship and have to use that to sail to different countries.
Okay.
But so like Unity, I've never tried. My younger brother told me it was a bad game, so I've never tried that. Assassin's Creed Rogue and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I've played both. I own Rogue. That's good. I got Syndicate from Xbox Games with Gold. I played all the way through that. I like that. And I like Brotherhood. But like the beginning games, like Assassin's Creed 1, like the numbered games.
Okay.
Like Assassin's Creed 3, not so much. And then there was like an Assassin's Creed trilogy that came out like in 2016. And I hated that game because there was basically no sitting. It was like playing an Assassin's Creed game in a VR simulator.
Well, technically speaking, since God knows when of Assassin's Creed, they have this secondary gameplay called Asperon or something like that, where like you're a simulator of the Assassin's Creed game, but it's just like you're in another reality at the same time. So it's something like that.
What I'm saying is, actually, I'll look it up because. What I'm saying is, like, there was no backgrounds. It was like sometimes there would just be a wall with like a guard walking on the other side of the wall,
okay.
And that's all that would be there. There would be nothing else to look at in the background because there was no background.
And we're talking about which Assassin's Creed again?
Let me see, because there's been, when you count the collections, there's been so many. There's so many things I've never even seen before. When you take like all the see, it wasn't Revelations. That's not it. I'm gonna go to Wikipedia. Let's see. Not Revelations, no. Origins. No, I never played Origins. I played Odyssey.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Origins? Let's see. I don't. No, that came out way too soon. It's not Syndicate. I liked it. I never played Unity.
Is the most recent ones like Odyssey or the other one with the Egyptian theme in it?
That's I found it.
Origins.
It was Assassin's Creed Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Because it was supposed to take place in 3 different places and
times, yeah.
But you had to play through one before you got to the next. And I just got so bored with it that I sold it back to GameStop without even finishing the first location.
Yeah, they were available for Games with Gold for free at the time, for back 3-4 years ago.
Really? Assassin's Creed Chronicles?
Assassin's Creed China, Assassin's Creed India, and Assassin's Creed Russia. All 3 are Chronicles.
They had the individual levels.
Individual, games itself.
Yeah, but I mean there was no background. It was like I said, being in a simulator. Just so I didn't like Chronicles, but like Odyssey, Rogue, Syndicate, I like those. I like Brotherhood and Revelations, but I just can't get into Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 3. Uh, I've tried. I have them still saved on my Xbox One, but
Okay. All right.
I yeah. So it's a shame that Valhalla still hasn't been fixed after 6 months of being released. I mean, what are they waiting for? Are they trying to kill this franchise that so many people love that I'm now a fan of?
It must be the fact that the work morale has changed so much over the years. Something involves where it's like different cartel events where it's political, economical, definitely social, and mix the two together, social economics. People are getting poorer, people are destitute, and they are living in impoverished conditions. And some of these people are developers or makers of the game or supporters of the game. And they put so much time and effort in the past, or they're new to the system or new to the industry itself that they never were taught behind the ropes by the original or current or even previous people at the company, like Naughty Dog, like Sony PlayStation, Xbox Studios, Bungie, even companies like Namco Bandai. Now it used to be called Namco by itself. So
Yeah,
that's my
I mean, it's
perspective.
just a shame because, but I guess that's, I hope Valhalla gets fixed, and I really would love to see Assassin's Creed games. I mean, I judge them, each on their own individual game because some I like, some I don't.
Right.
But that bundle you have, it has You said it has Black Flag and Unity. Does it have a third game with it or no?
No, just those two games. They were on
Uh,
sale for like 300, $400 at the time.
well,
They were digital, by the way. You had to download it from the Xbox store. You cannot have physical copies of them. Saves more money
okay.
that way too. If they did what they just did. I would expect them to have it in a disc format, but I see that they changed ways. The Microsoft, Xbox, and Sony PlayStation over the years. The Nintendo as well is
Yeah.
doing the same thing somewhat. But they try to keep their core values at bay, or at least within the realm of their selling game of the games that they're selling. So
Okay, so yeah, so that's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's just sad because I like about half the games in the series, and I really thought Valhalla would have been something worth checking out until I heard
yeah,
that you can't play the game, you can't finish the game because of the bugs.
definitely.
And they say restart the game, but I'm thinking if you restart the game, aren't you just going to get to the same part and then encounter that game-breaking bug again?
Definitely.
So anyway, that was that. Next, Mass Effect Definitive Edition and censorship issues. This one you told me about, so I'll let you start.
Yeah. So at first, I should have read it before I watched Vera of Dark Enterprises report the matter, because the Game Informer was way ahead before Vera about the matter. But based on what Vera said, is that there were censorship issues blooming within the community, finding out all these cutout shots, like the butt scene and the sex scenes and things like that matter. If I recall, that's the most notable of the Mass Effect trilogy. And how all of a sudden people don't like that. The older gamers or whoever, the fans of the Shepard saga, if you want to call it like that, they don't like the fact that they ousted that kind of perspective or shots, or we want to call them. Now, it was supposed to be like a remaster, not a remake. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they had to cut it out, because in today's world, it's all about social justice. It's all about,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
all that politically correct stuff. It was rising in the ranks of the makers of the Mass Effect game. So I understand the feeling, but these people don't buy the games. These SJWs, want to call them, they don't support them financially.
Snowflake.
Yeah, they don't support them financially or anything like that. Why should I? If I was a company that made the trilogy of Mass Effect and I want to make a remake or a remaster of the game, I'm not going to listen to some SJWs that don't pay into it or don't support it financially or the promotion or sharing it to other people about the matter. Like you and I, get James. I'm sure we played Mass Effect at one time, and I'm still playing it to this day. The first Mass Effect, because it's my first time playing ever on my own. That is, and I like it so far.
I played all three once. I never finished the game.
Understood. It takes a while to complete the game because it's time consuming with the Mass Effect trilogy, and you have to decide which one of the choices you make, that will change the story altogether later on. So
Right.
it's kind of like the Left 4 Dead Telltale series, but it's way more active in physicality or with shooting and stuff. So, but other than that,
I like Mass Effect. The only time I played 2 and 3 was to make sure the game actually worked when I purchased it. I used to have the whole trilogy like separately.
yes,
I kind of wish I had finished it before I sold most of my games off.
okay,
But yeah, I like Mass Effect. But now that I'm not going to get the remake now. If I ever want to do the whole trilogy, I'll just get the original.
right,
The original 3 games.
yeah,
But I mean, too many people think, oh, if we listen to these snowflakes, we'll do good business again because no one will hate us. No one except your core actual fan base.
and I was considered to be one of those supporters of Mass Effect, even though I never played a game up until last year when I did that sample gameplay of Mass Effect with my audience not earlier last year, but late last year or earlier this year to be more exact. So, but it was interesting to play. I liked it. I loved it. I like to interact with the characters and hear more about the Harbinger being the main antagonist of the trilogy. So I haven't got to that part yet, but eventually I will. So
Yeah. So if I ever play Mass Effect, I'll be getting the original games. But these people, like you said about Assassin's Creed, these social justice warriors, if game companies want to bow down to them, speak with our wallets and spend our money elsewhere.
yep,
They'll get the message when the next game that was 100% SJW approved was a flop.
uh-huh. Oh, Andromeda, I heard that was.
Didn't that happen with like The Last of Us 2?
Yes, and also along with Mass Effect Andromeda.
I mean, was it the last? I don't know so much about Mass Effect Andromeda, except that was full of glitches when it released.
Definitely.
But like The Last of Us 2, so many people hated the direction they went with it, and I think that game sold a lot less than the original.
Yes, because of girls. No offense to girls, but girls like Anita Sarkeesian took part in the project.
Mm.
That's what I heard, and also not only that, it was actually written like it documented that Anita Sarkeesian took part in the creation of Last of Us.
And I think like after that game flopped, they told her they don't want to do business with her anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm certain about that. Anita Sarkeesian, those girls, Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian, those girls, they never would say no by daddy, to be honest with you. I actually got that from War Corp 666. He's now known as Lord of Patriarchy. He actually said that.
I know who he is. I watch him all the time.
To those who don't know about War Corp, yeah, he's a very foul-mouthed, high masculine, like atmospheric type of guy, and he speaks his mind.
He's kind of like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the internet.
Yes, the underground version of it.
I mean, he's a beer drinking, middle finger flipping, foul mouth, tells you like the way he feels, and doesn't care who's feeling.
Yep.
So yeah, I know I followed him since his War Corp 666 account. I forgot exactly what year I discovered it.
I saw him as early as 2009. I never got into him because he was too foul mouth. He was like, "You mother effer, SOB, foul mouth, effing," you know.
So he mellowed out a lot since his original days.
Yeah, back in the 2008, 2009 time, because he was back. He go back to as early as 2007. Now I'm looking at his videos from 2007. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I avoided him. He could have made an impact in my life more. But it's a loss. So, but getting back on track with this Mass Effect thing, I can see potential with the Mass Effect Definitive Edition or the Mass Effect Remaster, whichever name comes first. And the problem, though, is that they have to make two versions, or they have to make sure they'll appeal towards the most to which fans that contribute the most. And I know that the Mass Effect fans usually are the ones that are not social justice warriors. Usually. Right. But I met a couple of girl gamers on here before they started to go disarray with the SJW's fiasco of mine. Now, some of these girls did love Mass Effect more than guys because of the way the sex scenes were and stuff like that. It was like Mass Effect is kind of like your 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. And I have one of those movies, the first one of the trilogy, 50 Shades of Grey, then there's 50 Shades of Darker, and 50 Shades of something else. And I only saw the first one for about half of the movie, first half of the movie.
Dude, what are you doing watching 50 Shades of Grey?
I have to, for the sake of trends. I like to see what does girls want from these movies. And I started to see that with Mass Effect. And I was like, oh, now I see why.
Poser.
Poser? Oh, screw you.
Yes, you're a poser.
No, I just look into things, that's all. He who is curious, he who has curiosity beats the mind.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Well, the saying goes like this, that the second mouse hit the cheese, so I'm like the second mouse to that matter.
Not to mention, but in all seriousness, I would give the 50 Shades trilogy a chance, but I wouldn't watch it by myself. I'd be watching it with my girlfriend if I had one. Why would I watch that? Why would I watch that by myself?
I got bored of it anyway after 10 minutes of watching it, so I was like, fuck. So you're not the only one who thinks that way.
There's so many better movies you could watch.
There's so many what?
There's so many better movies you could watch.
Oh yeah, I can watch Valentine's Day. I can watch fucking a date movie,
I said better movies.
A date movies is close enough good. It's funny.
Boo.
A date movie is apparently a scary movie.
I know, you showed it to me. I didn't like it then either. But to be honest, when I first saw the trailer for Date Movie, I thought I would like it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just my sense of humor.
It was different back then.
Yeah, but then again, I thought I outgrew South Park. Sometimes I watch South Park when it's on Comedy Central because it's on Comedy Central like 24 hours a day, and and I still find South Park funny, even if it's episodes I've never seen before.
Yeah, you should get the first 5 episodes on DVD. Those are the best ones, I heard.
The first 5 episodes?
First 5 seasons, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have the first 5 seasons on DVD for like $60 on eBay.
Oof, that's a little expensive. But
back
maybe
then?
I can find it cheaper.
Back in 2005, James? No, that was cheap. They were formatted properly.
For me now.
Oh yeah, okay. Because 10, 15 years ago was different timing with South Park because the internet was just about to be more mainstream than ever, and people were buying more stuff online than ever at the time. So it was the start of greatness of online shopping.
Yeah, It's just my job. My writing job has been a lot less. It's been giving a lot less work lately. I think that's because of the Easter holiday coming up.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's like things that I haven't purchased yet. I'm kind of holding back on purchasing now because I got money. I got money to pay my next credit card bill when I have to mail it out in 2 weeks. It's just I don't want to spend, and then when May rolls around, not have the money.
Right.
When money's coming in, you have no problem spending it. When it stops coming in,
Got cut back a few things. Yeah.
unless it's absolutely necessary, I hold on to it. But anyway, but watch. I bet after Easter, work will resume like it had been.
Oh yeah, definitely. Passover should be over by the second week of April. What I heard.
Because work really didn't start getting bad till this week, actually.
Mostly because of Passover as well. The start of Passover.
Oh, that's right, Passover. Do you know exactly when Passover is this year?
It should be Monday. This Monday, which was basically 2 days from now. Passover 2021. March 27th. I was right. Yes.
March 27th. That's tonight.
Yeah, basically as early as now. Yeah.
Yeah. So from tonight to Easter. Yeah. So people were probably finish. So people were probably finishing things up. At the beginning of this week to get ready for tonight.
Yeah.
If they're of the Jewish faith, if they're of the Easter faith, they're probably busy getting their Easter plans if they're going to see family, despite what the government says about travel. Anyway, next, Cyberpunk 2077. They just keep having issues.
Yes. What I read, obviously, is it's the same mantra. I haven't read too much into that article. I will admit that yet, because obviously, timing issues. But let's just say that it's the same nonsense about updating it properly, clean up the bugs, sort out the preparation for the next project of CD Projekt Red, things that matter. So that's what's going on with that article I was referring to, the Game Informer.
Okay. I haven't heard anything about it, so we'll just go on.
Of course.
From one bad game to the next, Marvel's Avengers Hawkeye DLC fails to satisfy fans.
Of course not. Of course it's going to fail. Hawkeye is the least popular among the Avengers because it's an actual straight up, human with just somewhat athletic ability. That's about it. Unless he refers to Black Cat.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not even the abilities of Hawkeye that's upsetting fans. It's that his campaign is so short. People are claiming they can finish this whole DLC campaign in just a couple of hours.
That's short. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like.
Well, it's like that. It's like that with Resident Evil 5, with its DLC, because there's this part where you play as Jill and Chris, and you after let's say 2 hours you finish the game if you're very quick enough for it. So it's like that almost. But it costs like what, $3, $4, not even $5 sometimes. So.
Yeah, and I'd be surprised if it's even that much now. But I don't know how much DLC costs.
They usually cost around these type of DLCs, like around between $3 and $5, depending upon how much the game was originally cost. But it says it costs back $60, and it's
you could get Resident Evil 5 for like just a few dollars.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Years ago.
And now it's on sale at the time. That is, it was like for like $10, $5, and it comes with the DLC of Xbox One.
Not even that much. In 2015 or 2016, no, 2015, when I moved to that new apartment that you visited in New York,
yes,
a house 3 doors down was having a garage sale, and they had like this CD binder of like and like there were like 13 games in there. One of them was Resident Evil 5. I got the whole binder for $20.
That's not bad.
And then I found out when I was researching the games to put them on eBay that one of the games they sold me was like went for $70 loose. I was like, okay, just sell this game. Everything else is straight profit.
Hey, James, can you hold on for a second? I take care of something. I have to use the restroom for a second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so we were talking about Marvel's The Avengers. Basically, that just seems to be the problem with the game. It's another No Man's Sky situation that there's really nothing there to keep people engaged for a long amount of time.
Oh yeah, No Man's Sky here we have lack of content.
But the thing is, all this DLC that's been promised isn't even solving the issue because it's like a temporary band-aid. If it's only going to offer a couple campaigns that are a couple hours long, what and nowadays people are playing games 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day because of people that are still stuck at home.
Yeah, no matter how much the economy has improved over the last 2 or 3 months because of the openings throughout this United States of the 48 continental United States, there's still some slow spots like here in New York City and California. So
yeah, Georgia's not really open, but then again, like I said, the only thing in my city are grocery stores and fast food places. I'm pretty sure. Well, I've never been to the fast food places. They're only doing, I think, drive-through service.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, Walmart's still open because they have their own grocery section.
Obviously.
But
Costco too.
But other small grocery stores around me are open too. But that's like it.
Yeah, there's no clubs, there's no concerts, and if there are concerts, they're underground.
There's no social gatherings.
Oh, there's social gatherings already. Yeah, look for them. They're not going to be out publicly, though. They're not. It's going to be hard. Whatever the police are trying to crack down on, they're not going to crack down on every one of them because there's too many of them doing their party thing. Especially like right. if you're in the southern United States, like Mexico. The Mexico-Texas border, that's always something going on there.
Keep in mind, Texas and Florida have announced that they reopened completely.
Okay.
I'm surprised Georgia didn't also.
Well, you do have a black mayor, I believe, or if I recall correctly. So,
Brian Kemp is the governor. So.
Okay.
And he's a white guy. So,
okay. I could have sworn there was a black mayor in Atlanta, right? Atlanta, Georgia?
But Atlanta's like 200-300 miles away.
But your town, Nashville, is still influenced by Atlanta because that's the only thing going on in your state mainly is because of Atlanta, Georgia. Think about it, because you have...
Oh, yeah.
Because you're close by. You're close by over by Disney. You're close by over by Atlanta. You're close by over by, other major... hot spots of e-commerce and commerce altogether. So,
yeah, we do have a black man.
And with here in New York City, even though most of the theaters were shut down for COVID and stuff, people still do stuff around here that I'm hearing outside. They'll be drinking, they'll be smoking, they'll be playing loud music for a few minutes and then leave, that type of stuff. So it's like you can't just tell people that they have to stay indoors because of some sort of flu-like symptoms that's similar to the cold. I'm not saying that I don't want people to survive or to be alive, but that's how most pandemics are. Because it was a lot worse back during the 1300 AD era of Europe, the bubonic plague. That lasted for how many years? At least 2 or 3 years of the mainstream pandemic. And by the 5th year, everything started to go down a bit. So it's like, you know, that stuff lasts because the conditions back there were a lot worse than in the year 2021 or 2020, we weren't exact. So
Yeah. So, but I mean, so, but the thing is, what was I gonna say? Anyway, so oh, that's right. Anyway, a lot of people are still spending time at home despite the few places in the U.S. that have opened up. But so it's not, someone who probably would play 2 hours of games a day, they're playing like 8 hours a day now.
like me.
Like me sometimes. And I mean, if you're gonna give us if you're gonna put these crappy DLC 2-hour adventures, or some people even said they finished the DLC campaign in less time than that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, someone said Yang Ye, who reported on this, he said the person who wrote the article that he was reading from said they finished it in an hour 45 minutes. So it's like, if they have to really redo. They really should, I think, should just abandon Marvel's The Avengers, cut their losses, and just pretend this game doesn't exist.
Yeah, Marvel's Avengers. I never played it before, and if I really want to, I'm willing to spend $5 to play the full game. But that's about it. I'm not going to spend $30, $40, $50 at least on a game that's worth only for about $10, not even $15.
Yeah, and it's like the game's on life support.
It's like Senran Kagura for the Steam powered store, except for without the boobs.
It's like this game's on life support and they refuse to pull the plug.
They really want to get their fans going into that game, but they don't. But most of the fans are gamers who are casual gamers actually now. Like, there's a lot more casual gamers now than ever, and most of the time they don't stay very long. They just don't. Like, the only time you see decent, loyal, hardcore gamers is if they stay there for at least a year, 2 years, sometimes even 5 years, especially. Like Halo Master Chief Collection, or Alien vs. Predator 2 for the PC, before Steam took over the commerce of online internet PC gaming, that is. So.
All right. So, but I mean, I get that they want to give their fans what they promised before launch, but at the same time, how many of your fans are left? I'm like, in Yang Ye's video, he said that the peak of people playing the game is down to like 3,000.
Less than Master Chief Collection. Way less.
Yeah, I mean, this
way
game
less.
had tens of thousands of people playing.
I say way less.
When the game first came out, and I think a lot of people just gave up on it.
Yep.
Anyway, so here's another story. Reggie Fils-Aimé said he's leaving GameStop board of directors.
Oh yeah. He should have stayed with Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, he's getting a nice severance package from what I heard, but
he must be.
Do you think GameStop can turn around the ship, or is it just slowly sinking?
Well, in the age of digitized gaming, or digital age of the digital age, you're lucky to see GameStop still going on another 5 years from now at the most, because once a new generation of systems come along, the chances of Xbox, Microsoft, and Sony PlayStation, especially those two systems, they'll transfer to all digital most likely by the next generation of gaming. And I believe that GameStop, it can't survive only as an online e-commerce store. And that's about it. Like that with ThinkGeek.
Yeah.
It's like ThinkGeek.com. they merged with GameStop for a few months ago, and I bought a couple of products from GameStop the other year or two, and I was like, wow, they went out of business, or they went with GameStop. Like, wow, so if they keep merging, if these survivable companies like GameStop and ThinkGeek can get together and merge, who knows what other companies will be? It would be like Mad Catz. It would be like Stone Age Gamer, which I'm sure most of you guys never heard of until now. Stone Age Gamer is Richard Review Tech USA sponsor. You know, he used to have it as a sponsor for a few months back 5 years ago, and they're still around, but not as often. So, yeah, it's all about survivability of networking with other stores and other companies. So the more GameStop does this, the more likely they'll stay in business a lot longer than 5 years from now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That they eventually they will probably have to shut all their physical locations, or at the very least have one spaced out in big markets, like New York City still might have one. All the other big cities that you can name might still have one or two.
What, GameStop stores?
Actual physical locations.
Oh, there's plenty of locations in New York City to go to, especially the one in Manhattan. The Manhattan location.
I'm talking about 5 years from now when it's almost all digital.
I would like to say this, though, that there's a chance that the Manhattan location, not the one over by 100 80th Street, but there's another one somewhere around central Manhattan where it's so big that it has Dreamcast, has N64, had all these old games and such. So that GameStop will definitely stay open as the last of its means. Like, it would be like Blockbuster pretty much. Because there's one Blockbuster store open still in Oregon somewhere. Right. So that's going to be the case with GameStop most likely within a few years. So hopefully that GameStop will still be open to the public for the sake of tourism attraction, as well as availability of certain games you can't buy online properly, that is. So,
like I'm saying, the big metropolis like cities like New York City, I'm sure they might still have a location even when things go digital, if they because they're gonna sell retro games, they're gonna sell products from ThinkGeek, from Mad Catz, stuff like that.
As in Mad Catz is still in business though. Last time I checked, it went out of business.
Okay, well the point I'm making is they're still going to have stuff to sell, but it's like I said, they're going to be few and far between, and I think only in the big cities.
Right.
I mean, look at me. The closest GameStop near me is 27 miles away.
It's a long walk for you.
Yeah, that's why I do all my shopping for GameStop online now.
You're in a good, comfortable area because you can buy Amazon, you can buy Walmart, you can buy GameStop, you can buy Game Informer onto the magazine subscription, and it's all delivered to you in person and to your area. That's pretty good. So you're in a comfortable spot there, my friend.
Everyone can do that.
Well, for me, it's like people. There are some people out there are jealous that if you live out there out in the open or in a rural community, they feel jealous for not having them coming to their stores and such. Because I listened to this radio show called The Mark Levin Show, right? And this is back around 2017, 2018. And people on the show were saying like, oh, Amazon should pay their own share of taxes. Amazon should pay their own regulatory fees. And you know what happened months later? They put that regulatory fees in, and people still complain that Amazon is still dominating the retail market, while the small mom and pop stores are not keeping up, or they're not adapting to what customers want. They have to understand that it's all about adaptability. If you don't have adaptation in your market, then you're going to lose anyway, no matter how much you're going to tell government to control the corporations. Because I for one,
Exactly, I agree.
Because I for one, if I was running my Dr. Games business, I would not complain to the government to regulate Sony and Microsoft.
No, of course not.
That's my fault for merging too many things or doing whatever with the GameStop, wherever the case may be. I mean, I might be like doing my own thing, like making my own systems and games with new characters, new franchises, new series, stuff like that. That's a lot of work to deal with in a few years though, my time though, but it's worth it though. So that's my plans are, is to make my actual name Dr. Games into an actual corporation. At least that. So in a few years.
So anyway, Reggie Fils-Aimé, he's leaving GameStop, and do you think there's anyone that can save GameStop now?
I bet the reason why Reggie left because the GameStop was going to crash anyway again. So that he's leaving. So he's leaving. He's the last of the last. He's the last of us.
So he's just lowering the lifeboat now and getting.
Yeah, he was supposed to save the company, not extort it.
Right. He's just getting out before shit really hits the fan.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see. I would love to see GameStop survive, even in a smaller quantity.
Yes.
But like I said, I think they're going to end up doing most of their business online, because the thing is, they can still do business with, if they're still selling games, new games, they could sell them online, digital copies of the game online. You know, like say someone wants to buy Borderlands 3 from them. You buy it digitally, they give you a code, you download that code you use that code on Xbox Live Marketplace or PlayStation Store, whichever console you bought your game for, and that code will download the game for free, but it's not for free because you already paid GameStop.
Of course. Or GameStop will give you a discount if you buy more than one type of game with it. Like they used to have, well, they are used to, but they still have, I still sign up for their email newsletters, GameStop. And sometimes they'll sell like Resident Evil 4 Remaster or whatever the edition is for like, $15 if you buy it with 2 games, whatever. That type of situation that they did one time.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I don't remember the exact sale exactly because it was about Resident Evil definitely, but it was definitely like one of those eye-popping sales. Like, ooh, I can buy that, but I didn't have the money at the time, so.
Yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, so I think there'll still be GameStop stores around in the big cities, but I do think the way GameStop's going to survive is mostly through e-commerce, selling digital copies of games by sending out codes to people.
Right.
So
just like with it's like with Halo. Okay, back during 2010 of Halo Reach time, when it was in its release state, GameStop was making how much money from those pre-orders or pre-order bonuses? Because if you pre-order $5, you get like a free helmet or one of those special helmets that are attached to the game. So all you have to do is type in a code with Microsoft Xbox that they make deals with, because it's like because GameStop has their own. GameStop has their own type of attachment, along with Best Buy has a different attachment, and so on and so forth. So it was good back then, a good move. But now it's like most of today's gamers, especially if they're under like 25 or 21 years old, they don't care about that exclusivity. They want everything on everything. They want everything on. They want that one game on 3 systems. They want that 2 games on all the systems. I'm like, it doesn't work like that after a while, guys. Then what's the point of having any of the systems? Just get PC and hang it up.
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to complain all the time with this matter, but I try to debate with my friend Enjoy Gaming 117. That's his old name, but he's changed it recently. So I told Enjoy Gaming, like, dude, like, you have to understand. Back when I was a kid, your age, I was glad to actually get the exclusive pre-order bonus content or the special edition for that one game, for that one franchise of that one store or brand, whatever it's called. They don't do that anymore. And if they do, it's like for every system now. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so anyway, I think that's going to be the future. Amazon opens new studio in Montreal. The studio was founded by developers of Rainbow Six Siege, and they have a multiplayer game in development. Have you played the Rainbow Six series? I haven't.
I played Rainbow Six Siege a couple of times. I'm you know how like there's Rambo and then there's John Wick and stuff. Well, I'm like Rambo and Siege. I go in there guns blazing, and these guys out of nowhere are like, where did he come from? Because my friend and I, his name is King. We'll call it King for now. So King and I were playing Rainbow Six Siege together, and I kind of sacrificed himself to get a triple or a quad feed kill, and we won the match. After I did that with his B and with his player, so I ran away. And he's like, Charles, come back here, and I'm like, no, come with me. And he got killed in the process. So I went back, went guns blazing without them knowing, and we won the match. And I told him, I to come with me. My hunch is telling me to leave the fucker. Like, these four guys are mean business, and there was like 2 of us left over. Yeah, because it's 4v4.
What do you think about Amazon developing their own video game?
I think that'll be interesting, as long as it's not on the PC only. If they focus on a console, maybe they might have a chance. But, you know, they're supposed to have a console service called Luma or Lumi or something like that. I forgot the name of the exact program that Amazon originally had. But Amazon retracted back all their stuff from last year and then reprogram it or rebroadcast it out there for people to see as Amazon Gaming. So I could be wrong about the previous name.
I think having developers of Rainbow Six Siege working on your multiplayer game, whatever it will be, I think that's a good sign.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, and like I said, the more people that want to get into game developing, the better. As long as they're going to work hard on their games and not give us Tony Hawk 5 or The Last Sim City.
Yeah, I heard the Tony Hawk 5 was a horrible game.
Well, like Darkness said, if you just have the disc and you don't download the patch, you just have the first level.
That's so stupid.
Or The Last Sim City, which was unplayable, which I think he said was like unplayable.
Because there's a day 1 patch.
So I mean, if they're gonna do this, you know, more power to them. And you know, they have a new multiplayer game in development already, and I'm just interested to see what that game's gonna be like when it releases.
And you said that Rainbow Six Siege is only exclusive to Xbox, right?
I didn't say that. I said developers from that game is working in the studio now.
Oh, okay. Because I heard that Microsoft bought Bethesda as well. So I figured Microsoft's going to buy other companies in the process as a domino effect, you know.
Yeah, but they could always buy a company and then employees could leave that company.
Right. Good point.
So, anyway, oh God, this sounds like it's going to be a disaster, but this might actually be crazy enough to work.
Talk to me.
Hitman, they're making a TV series on the video game Hitman.
Oh.
For Hulu.
Nah. I mean,
they're gonna give him blonde hair.
No way.
But they said yes, he's gonna have long blonde hair.
Try to make him gay.
But well, not long blonde hair, but like
Fabio style. Fabio, the male.
Yeah. Like a young Chris Jericho.
Or Fabio from the male magazines.
But they're gonna give him blonde hair. And they said like at the end of the first episode is when he discovers the barcode on the back of his head.
Oh, okay.
And then it's gonna turn into like a Jason Bourne, the Bourne Identity kind of story where he doesn't remember who he is and he has to research, you know, what he's done in his past life when he discovers the barcode.
So his head will be shaved off.
Yeah, so it'll probably only have one episode with blonde hair, and then when he discovers the barcode, he'll probably shave his head completely. Then he's gonna try to piece who he really is together.
It sounds like a
when
sequel. When
he discovers the barcode in the TV series.
It sounds like the sequel to Hitman 3, the one that came out earlier this year. It sounds like they're making a sequel to that, like it's set up for like 20 years later type of setting, or 10 years later, whatever the case may be.
The thing is, I saw the first Hitman movie like 10 years ago.
Oh, the 2007 movie, yeah. I heard it was good.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it wasn't the best, but it was something of a start.
Dude, I was so groggy when I walked out of that theater because I was so close to falling asleep.
There was that much action going on.
I went to see that movie with a friend. We both hated it.
There was that much action?
Huh?
There wasn't that much action?
It wasn't that there was that much action. It's just the story made no sense.
Well, they're trying to appeal towards the broad audience. That's why.
I don't care who they were pandering to. They just couldn't tell a clear story.
Well, 2007 was a different year.
As a matter of fact, Irate Gamer did a review on that movie, Hitman. If it's still up. Maybe it's not up. But anyway, no, I saw that movie and I was like, and oh my god, I hated that. I hated it.
I guess I gotta see it for myself. And also, there's a 2016, 2015 movie of Hitman as well.
Oh, so there were multiple movies of Hitman.
Just 2 movies, and they were not sequels. They were just standalones.
Okay, so anyway, I can't find the YouTube. I can't find the movie on YouTube. The review on YouTube, rather.
I'm sure it's there somewhere. Someone must have made a good review of it, or a bad review.
But the thing is, well, I'll continue searching as I. But the thing is, I saw that movie, and like I was so close to falling asleep that like I was stumbling out of theaters when that movie was over because I was like, I was like, damn, that movie would have been a great cure for insomnia.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. A snooze type of ambient movie to watch too before sleeping. Right, James? Right, Triple J? Like, it'd be a good, like, one of those ambient type of programs to put on your smartphone or whatever, or your computer. You watch it while going to sleep, and you fall asleep within 20 minutes, not even, while you watch the movie.
Well, the thing is, what I remember from the movie is, like, you have Hitman, he does his profession and everything. Then he's supposed to kill this woman. When he meets her, he falls in love with her, and then all of a sudden he's trying to evade the agency that he used to work for.
Oh, that's a bad idea on his part.
And then he goes around killing the other hitmen that are trying to take out this woman since he wouldn't do it.
Well, when you fall in love, James, you sacrifice many things to gain that love.
When you become a hitman, you realize you're going to have to. You don't really get attached to people.
Well, yeah, love can do that to a man.
She wasn't even that good looking.
Well, last time I checked, when I saw that poster on that movie theater poster, she looked all right. Nice, nice dress on. It's a red dress, I'm assuming. Short hair, maybe. She may not be my type, but I want to date her.
Hold on, I'm just trying to find average.
Average? She must be a model. One of those En Vogue models, whatever you want to call them.
No, she was definitely not a model, because I think if the movie had a hot chick in it, that would have actually helped me from almost falling asleep in theaters. I just remember the movie boring me so much that I didn't just fall asleep, but like all the energy was zapped out of me by the time the movie was over.
Almost like you have to watch the credits while they're rolling until the end.
No, it's just like I said. When I stood up out of my seat, even though I didn't fall asleep, I had to shake the cobwebs loose, and I was stumbling out of that theater like I did fall asleep.
Or you were drinking. I doubt it, but you must have been drinking, and you really were having a good time watching the movie.
Nothing more than soda. Just that movie sucked, and because of that movie sucking, I have no faith in this TV series. Even if they do take the Bourne, Because I've seen the Bourne Identity, I've seen the Bourne Supremacy. The Bourne Identity is kind of boring at first.
Oh, it's the first movie of the Bourne series.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's if they're going to apply that to Hitman, which already had a snoozer as the first movie, it's it's kind of like you're just asking for trouble. And what do you think of Agent 47 having blonde hair?
Well, I mean, they're trying to appeal towards the female crowd. I bet that's what they're trying to do. Try to get more female watchers, at least watch the movie, the TV show. If they can play the game too, that would be great as well. But it's risky because Hitman is mainly towards us guys who've been playing it since what, preteens. Because the first one I got on PC, Hitman Agent Codename 47, back last year or two for like $10. And I never played the full game yet. I only played the first stage. I'm still stuck on the stage, and it was a good experience. I was like, wow, this is nice, Agent Diana helps you out, and this guy on the speakers telling you what to do, that type of feeling. So it's like, he's basically Hitman is not like Hitman for a movie, but the game, when you play the game itself, it's all right. So basically, you have to be a gamer first before you play the Hitman series or understand the mantra by watching the movie first and then get into it.
So, well, I just because of the movie that I saw in 2007, I have no faith in this TV series.
I know. I should watch the trailer before we talked about it, but I never thought about it's going to be that. I thought it was just a rumor at best.
Yeah, well, if I didn't see a trailer, I just saw it mentioned on GameInformer.com.
Yes.
But yeah. So I mean, speaking of Hitman, since we're talking about it, did you play the first Hitman game on Xbox One?
Contracts or Codename 47?
It didn't have a subtitle. It was just Hitman.
Okay, so I don't.
There was a game with gold recently. Well, not recently, but
if you're referring back to 2002, 2001 area, they had a first Hitman for both PC and Xbox. It's just called Hitman Codename 47, if I recall correctly.
Okay, it was Hitman, the complete first season.
Oh, 2016, the 2016 game. I have it on my Xbox, yes, but I never played it. To be honest with you,
okay.
I'm sorry if I never did, but it's just that it's not the same. When I saw the gameplay before, like the trailer gameplay and everything else, it looks so different than it once was with, back in the original trilogy. Because with the original trilogy, yes,
go on.
With the original trilogy, yes, the second game spruced it up a bit, the series, but that was it really. That was the reason why I bought Hitman 2 first, because I didn't want to take the risk of buying a game that was all about killing people for contract reasons or whatever. So, but because my morality back then was different back then, I thought like if you shoot in a CIA type of situation, that's one thing. But Hitman, I never thought about buying a Hitman just to do contract killings as a player. You know what I'm saying? This is back in 1999, 2000 when I heard about the game. So.
Well, I have played Hitman Absolution on PS3, and I played Hitman the complete first season on Xbox One. The thing is, like my cousin and I, we played the demo of the first of Hitman, the complete first season.
Uh-huh.
We loved it. Then when we played the first actual level after buying the game, we played the first level for 6 hours. Could not achieve the kills that we were trying for, and never played it again.
Right.
And then when the game came as games with gold, I didn't even bother downloading it at the time because I was like, why am I gonna download this game that I never played, that I never want to play again?
I mean, it's not the best Hitman trilogy of the Hitman 1, 2, and 3, Hitman 2016, 2018, and 2021, but it's all right to play if you want to have nostalgia for the game itself. But Yeah.
I did download Blood Money for 360, so
That was for free at one point on the Games with Gold.
So was Hitman the complete first season. That was a game. Like I said, it was offered as part of Games with Gold one month.
Yeah.
But I bought it beforehand because my cousin found a demo, and like I said, we couldn't figure out how to get any further once we got past like the demo. So, and I just have no faith in the Hitman movie.
Yeah, the Hitman movies, okay, the 2007 movie, it may not be the best one, but I heard it was watchable. The second Hitman was 2016, 2015, right before the Hitman 2016 game came out. It was somewhere around there it was released. And that looked much better. So, check that one out, I heard. I want to watch both of them sometime.
I didn't even know there was a second movie out, so.
It was not a sequel, it was just a standalone, so. It was a new actor, new actress, looks better looking.
Okay, so
they learned their lessons, I heard, from the last movie, the first movie of Hitman.
All right, so Hitman, yeah, I just don't have faith in it.
Understood. Because obviously, 3 times its charm, like, are you gonna make it any better? You know what I'm saying? So I understand your perspective as a Hitman gamer. Me personally, I never thought about, like I said, I never thought about playing a Hitman themed type of game. So and I realized that it's pretty much fun because I was raised in the church, and most of the time, honor and glory and in killing someone, there has to be something of that based on those factors. You can't just kill for the sake of money,
Dude, you're the guy who played wrestling games with blonde panties matches in them. What's this morality all of a sudden?
No, this is back before I met you. This is like what was like, was it the year 2000, the year 1999 when I was watching wrestling. Yes,
dude, we met in 2001.
Okay, yes, you're right, but I was told not to watch wrestling when I was a certain age, probably around that time. So I know it sounds weird. It sounds like a bullshitted, but yeah, it felt that way too. Like if my mom finds out that I'm playing these fucking games with these that are very violent, have no morals, no honor killings, no nothing like that, it's.
I just think of that Facebook video where the person had a wrestling game, and when his father discovered there was blonde panties matches in it, he got in trouble.
See what I mean? It's something like that. My mom was upset at me when she found out all this stuff that I was watching on. That's why she didn't want to watch wrestling at certain times of the week because of what's on it. But there weren't no really broad pennies matches until 2000, 2001 in WWE, and then
not 2001. I'd say 99, 2000ish. Because they really didn't have a large roster of females then. I mean, Trish Stratus came like in 2000.
Oh yeah, definitely. She wasn't really a wrestler until the following year.
Exactly. Yeah. They had Ivory, they had Tori, but they really didn't compete in Braun.
Of course not.
So they had Armageddon. Well, no, they had. Okay, so.
Yeah, Armageddon was the worst.
99.
Mae Young. I was like, what the hell? they censored that part on the DVD version.
Thank God.
Thank God indeed. Because my friend has the unedited version. He recorded the pay-per-view. Jay's was like, what the hell is this kid's problem?
Yes. If anyone else is looking for a podcast host, I'm available.
Hey, this is yours, podcast.
But anyway, back to WWE and foreign panties matches. They weren't really common till like at least the furthest back I remember them happening was 99.
Okay.
Because like take WWF Attitude, which came out like '98. They had 3 women in the game: Sable, China, and Jacqueline.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Once Tori came in, once Ivory came in, once the Cat came in.
Jazz
That's
in
when
2000, 2001.
Well, no, that was already happening by the time Jazz came in. But what I'm saying is, by the time Ivory, Tori, and Cat came in, that's when they started doing these kinds of matches.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because Jazz didn't take part in this. She didn't want to do it personally. The double R panties.
Not to mention in ECW at the time, she was. I just remember her wanting to rip Dawn Marie's head off.
Well, yeah, Dawn Marie, she's a good looker back then too. Yeah, I heard that they don't get along with Dawn Marie and Jazz.
Well, I just remember. I don't think I have the tape anymore, but I had an episode of ECW on TNN where Jazz was like going through a locker room, where it's like she was walking through a door, and she's like, "I ain't going to jail over this Dawn Marie shit." And then she walks in the door, and James Mitchell is there when he was the Sinister Minister, always wearing the red jacket. And she asks Mitchell for something. I forgot what she wanted from him. And James Mitchell was like, "Well, quite frankly, I'm in the mood for some sex." And Jazz goes, "You need to get your filthy A-word to church." So yeah, Jazz was kind of like a woman you didn't want to mess with in ECW and in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still wrestling in Impact Wrestling now.
Wow, after all these decades. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I heard she married Rodney Mack, the word that the SmackDown general manager supported.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard of Rodney Mack before, right?
I heard she married him.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes, they got married.
Yeah.
That's like 10 years ago, though.
More like 20.
It has been 20 years? Wow.
Just about.
I guess it was like at least 10. All right.
No, this was like 2004 or 2000. No, actually before that. Because I remember like Goldberg destroying Theodore Long's group.
Yep.
And Goldberg was there from I'm talking Goldberg's first run in the WWE. So, almost 20 years. Maybe not quite, but
feels like it's like 15 at the most. But you're roughly right. It's 20 years.
Yeah. So that was. Yeah. So anyway, the point was when those women came in, that's when they started doing bra and panties matches. But it didn't start really getting that way till like '99. That's like 1999 is my oldest memory of this happening in WWE. Anyway, what was the next subject on the list? Activision lays off people despite making money. So now Activision is just as bad as WWE.
Yeah, instead of regular jobs, it's actually contract jobs.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, when you're a company and you make money, you have like your best year making money, and you still lay people off. What does that tell you?
It's all about making as many cutbacks as possible with making as much as possible at the same time.
Well, I mean, WWE did that last year, and that really, I think, hurt their public image somewhat, although their shows were already in the trash.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, the last time I saw WWE's program was back around last year in the fall, and back then it was all right to watch, but it wasn't like excited 100% all the way through. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It wasn't exciting at all, really.
It was watchable, seeing some nice kicks in the face, power bombs and acrobatic type of moves like Rey Mysterio would do, but that's about it.
But the thing is, what I'm referring to with WWE, what they did. Last year after WrestleMania, they fired like a bunch of wrestlers.
Yeah, even Rey Mysterio, which is stupid on their part.
Well, they brought Rey Mysterio back, but I'm saying like Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson,
Carlito, I think it was. Carlito, maybe? Because Carlito's back in the WWE again for the last few weeks or months.
Carlito left in 2010.
But he came back recently, I heard. I didn't read it on his bio back
He came back recently, but the thing is, when Carlito left in 2010, it's because he failed a drug test, and they wanted him to go to rehab, and he refused. And they said, either go to rehab or go home.
He doesn't look like he was on drugs back then, just because he has a big afro and all.
Yeah. Okay, this is the list. I found it. These are the people that were fired back in 2010 and what was it? In 2020, these were the people that were let go. Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, Epigo, Rowan, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, EC3, Kurt Hawkins, Heath Slater, Leo Rush, Primo, Sarah Logan, Drake Maverick, and Eric Young.
How about that ECW wrestler?
Like a week after WrestleMania.
Oh, wow. How about that ECW wrestler? I forgot his name. He's like he's a stouchy type of wrestler wearing those red trunks with the black stripes on them, or the black stripe in the sides of the red trunks of he wrestles. You know what I'm talking about? He was at ECW.
The regular ECW or WWE's ECW?
I think it was back in the day, back in the 2000s, the last year of the ECW.
Rhino?
Not Rhino. He was a Hispanic, had a ponytail, and has like one of those wraparound type of gloves. You wrap around with like those little stitches and stuff like that with the hands. You know what I'm talking about?
No. Maybe if you could find a picture, or if you discover his name, I could tell you.
I forgot his name. It's been so many years I haven't seen him. He was in TNA Impact for a while.
Not Johnny Swinger.
Nope, he's a Hispanic. He's stouchy like me. Like I'm overweight, obese, but he's more like athletic version of being overweight. You know, he's like he looks like Yokozuna at first, but he's Hispanic. I know. Forget about it. We'll talk about it later. Sorry about that, guys.
Let's see.
I know it's been a while for me.
Yeah, that I typed in ECW Hispanic wrestlers and his name didn't come up.
I'll look at it later on. Well, I'll probably post it on Twitter or something when I find him. I just don't know his name yet.
Hold on. Let me try ECW Hispanic overweight wrestlers. See if it comes up. No, because I really want to know who you're talking about now.
He was wrestling for WWE either in Next or the regular East or the WWE version of ECW for a while, and then he went to WWE mainstream for a while, and he was a champion at one point too, or pursuing.
Wait, he was in Nexus?
Either he was in ECW in the last year of its tenure, the old school ECW, and then he went to WWE later on, like around the late 2010s or early 2010s, mid 2010s.
So Ezekiel Jackson?
Nope. I can't explain.
Vladimir Kozlov?
Nope. Eventually, I will definitely remember the name when you mention that.
Okay, I'll keep mentioning wrestlers until we find the one. He definitely was a part of Nexus because Nexus was 2010.
Okay. I'll look it up right now on Wikipedia. Let's see. What's his name? I gotta type it. We'll get to it some other time, James. Let's move on.
No, I want to do this now.
Well, when people want to listen to it, they gotta be wondering what these guys are talking about. They be like, they wanted to themselves.
Because we never go off topic before it.
I mean, we did go off topic plenty of times, yes, but this is taking way too long.
Oh, Vader, maybe?
No, not Vader. He's young, but not too old. He's like he's like in his 30s, 40s, early 40s at the most.
Okay, maybe we'll have to look for it sometime because we could search for a couple hours, probably never find it.
Definitely.
So anyway, back to before we got sidetracked. The guys I mentioned, also Curtis Axel was gone like 1 week later. All these people were fired despite WWE making more money than they ever have before. Now we got Activision letting go of employees despite Activision never having made more money than they have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just ridiculous. These companies, do you think they are so big they just think they can take this hit in their public image and whatever damage it does, they'll come back from it? Or
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because most people will just ignore it after a while. Not to say that people will not be shocked about it, but you always hear the same story, like with companies like the banks, like Citibank, or investment firms like AIG, like they got bailed out by the company, by the bank, by the government, and they make profits soon weeks after the receiving the money. So it's kind of like that almost type of situation. Samoa Joe's his name. That's his name.
oh,
I saw his name. I saw his name on Wikipedia.
2000, he wasn't in ECW.
Yeah, December 5th, 1999. He started wrestling.
Okay, so well, the thing is, when ECW lost their deal on TNN, I never saw them again. But I mean,
yeah, 2001 was their last year of the old school ECW. So
yeah,
Samoa Joe is his name.
But yeah, so Samoa Joe, he still wrestles, but they're having him do commentary.
Okay.
Oh, I did not think I would not have guessed that name is who you were referring to.
He was wearing red trunks with black stripes one point in WWE, but in 2015 he was wearing black and gold.
That with all different color trunks. He'd have red trunks with a black stripe, yellow trunks with a black stripe, blue trunks with a black stripe.
Yeah. That's how you only watch wrestling once in a while for the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, I only watch Impact Wrestling and All Elite Wrestling.
Right,
I watch Ring of Honor if I catch it on the weekend. But so anyway, these companies laying people off, I just think they're so big that they think they can take any news that comes, any bad image that comes their way, and like you said, most people are just gonna forget it after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shocker. Gamers should rise up to a point that not to buy this company's video games, at least that. But in the end, people are just either not saying they're selfish or not to say they're impulsive, but our attention span or our retention in certain details has definitely gone down over the years. So it's kind of like, if you're not excited of their games, then what's the point? You're not going to buy their games to begin with. You're not going to support them financially. So they're going to die off anyway, the company, whoever they are, but...
And most people really don't have willpower unless it's something that really affects them personally.
Definitely.
So I think the only people that would really not buy an Activision game is someone that was affected by these layoffs, like a family member of a laid off employee.
Definitely.
So I think Activision will be fine, but it's a pretty crappy thing to do. Because it's not like, for crying out loud, you're making more money than you ever did before.
Definitely.
Don't tell me you can't afford to keep everyone that you let go on the payroll.
It's probably because the fact that they realized they spent too much, so they're trying to cut back at the same time. I can understand that situation, but in these conditions or in this series of events, it seems very sketchy. So you're right on one thing, right, James, that it's wrong for them to lay off these people. Now I understand business is business. That's what it is in these industries. But still, if you really don't want these workers from the start, why did you hire them? Especially if they're excessive load or an excessive staff.
Right. That's good. That's a good point. Uh, Speaking of disgusting game franchises, Ultimate Yang Yeo reported this. Ultimate Team in FIFA could require 2.5 years playing the game straight, meaning playing the game 24/7 for 2.5 years, or spending $110,000 to get the best Ultimate Team.
Hmm.
The thing is, for games that release a new game every year, you're not gonna play FIFA whatever is out now for 2.5 years. And that's, like I said, that's 2.5 years of not sleeping, not eating, not showering, just playing the game straight. No one can do that for a prolonged amount of time.
Unless if they're like 16 years old, COVID-19, era.
No, no one can play 24/7. You need to sleep eventually. You need to eat. You need to shower.
Well, there are players in Call of Duty that's going to play at least like 75, 72 hours straight, and they're 16, 15, 14 years old.
Well, some people do that also, but some people also do that just to get notoriety. Like Game Informer did that one time with Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Really?
Yeah, 4 different editors from that magazine played Super Smash Bros. Brawl for I think 30 hours straight.
Just for record keeping.
Just to get like in the Guinness record, I think, of longest time playing games ever.
Really, because they're actual COD players who are very dedicated, who lack the not decency, but lack the priorities to stop playing. So you got the actual hardcore dedicated players like Call of Duty players that will play 70 hours in the United Kingdom and get like deep vein thrombosis as a disease.
But the thing is, they don't play the game for 70 hours straight.
You sure about that? That happened one time.
What?
You sure about that? Happens plenty of times. Not plenty of times, but that happened a couple of times. There's a release report.
Otherwise they would have gotten Otherwise they would have capitalized on the notoriety. Even professional gamers don't play that much.
Oh no! But this guy back in 2014, the early 2010s, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out and stuff, though he actually played at least 70 hours straight and got deep vein thrombosis from it for the United Kingdom, the country. It was in the newspaper.
All right, so I'll search for it now, see if I can find that story.
I hope you can find it. It's like 6, 7, 8 years ago from the last time I checked.
It's not coming up on Google.
Yeah, you gotta go back at least 5, 6, 7 years. You have to type in United Kingdom or English player. He wasn't a professional. He was just an ordinary 16, 15-year-old guy playing, drinking coffee or Monster energy drinks and then eating Doritos and stuff like that. Because there are players out there who play monstrous amounts of hours every day, all day long, sitting in the basement, eating all kinds of junk food from Doritos to Funyuns. And their parents are letting them do that for hours on end, if not days on end, if not weeks on end at a time. So, I mean, I hear too much of it, but it happens.
Hello? Okay, I'm back.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. I was wondering what happened.
Right. My mom needed something.
Oh, sure.
So anyway, where were we?
I was talking for the last minute or two before you left, or around the time you left. I was saying that there's these situations where you actually but you actually have kids, teenagers playing 70 hours at a time, and it'll be broadcasted or be mentioned in a newspaper days after they did it. And there's this one situation back in 2012, between 2012 and 2015, give or take, when I read the newspaper. It was from the New York Times, most likely, or the Newsday newspapers, right? So this kid in the United Kingdom played at least 72 hours of Call of Duty. and you got deep vein thrombosis with it. That's why it made the news in a newspaper.
Oh wait, I just found it. Gaming addict breaks world record for longest Call of Duty session after playing non-stop marathon for 135 hours.
The one I had was 70 something hours. That was from Newsday newspaper. It's a newspaper, James. It's not from the news. It's not from the internet.
This is from DailyMail.com. Okan K, 28, from Sydney, Australia, lasted 5.5 days to break world record.
Interesting.
The record before that stood at 120 hours.
And when was this? The 100 plus hours.
I don't know. Let me go back to it. I X'd it out because I was just reading the headline. Does it say? Well, the story was published November 20th, 2012.
Okay, so basically, either there's two different stories, and one of them happened to make it to my country or to our country in my neighborhood or in my city, because New York Newsday is a newspaper company in New York City. So if I can go to my local website, I can find it most likely. But it's been so many years that it must have been archived in the library or something. So that's going to take some time to look back on.
Well, the thing is, if it made it into the Newsday newspaper, it's probably on their website, meaning you could probably find it if you looked for it.
Yeah. I could be wrong that it's from New York Newsday. It could be from the Caribbean newspaper. Now that's going to take some time to look for.
If they had a website, if it was in a newspaper that had a website, you could probably find it again.
Right.
But I Googled Newsday and they're just talking about sports.
Yeah, you have to keep on to the newspaper clips. I don't have them right now. I kept on to it for a while, but I threw them out. I was accumulating so much paperwork.
But anyway, we were talking about FIFA, and I'm saying, that 2.5 years mark, you would have to play 2.5 years straight. No one can do that. No one can play 2.5 years straight, no matter how much you like anything.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can understand that. 2 years is way too long. But why 2.5 years? I don't understand.
I'm talking 24/7, 2.5 years.
Still, that's still too much. That's way too much.
That's how long it would take to earn everything, or you would have to pay nearly the price of a house to get the best ultimate team in FIFA.
We're making that money.
Seriously, I know you're thinking of New York prices, but my house didn't even cost that. My house was less than $110,000.
Oh wow! I wonder why it's that cheap, because you do live in a rural community, right, or a suburb, so.
It's suburban, but it's a small city.
Yeah.
But the house was like my house was like $70,000, and then my mom did a bunch of work to make it look nicer, and also raises the resale value if we were ever going to sell it.
Right.
But if plans work out like we think, this is probably the house I'm gonna, grow old and die in.
That's good. At least you got some kind of ownership after, goodness forbid, your family passed.
Right. At least we own the house. It's not a mortgage type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just can't imagine, because the other thing about that 2.5 years. I don't even know how would you, let me do that. So there's 24, I got the calculator, 24 hours in a day,
mm-hmm.
and there's 365 days in a year. Let's just forget about leap year for a minute.
Of course.
So that's 8,760 hours in a year. Times that by 2.
16,000.
No, 17,520.
Holy shit.
Now, 8,760 divided by 2, because it's 2.5 years, 4,380. So 17,520 hours, which is 2 years, plus half a year, which is 4,380 hours, We're talking about 21,900 hours of gameplay.
Just to get everything in one of the FIFA
just
games.
To get everything, the best of everything in Ultimate Team. And then you would have to, or if you were going to pay for it, you'd have to pay in the six figures. And keep in mind, this is games that come out every year. So, like, even if you play 24/7, you still wouldn't get everything by the time the next FIFA came out.
Unless you play every day, 20 hours a day for about 5 years.
I just said, even if you play 24/7, you're not going to get everything by the time the next FIFA comes out.
I'm not trying to say 24/7. I'm saying 20 hours of the 24.
You're still not going to get everything.
In 5 years, baby.
What?
In 5 years.
Yeah, in 5 years, maybe. That's.
I've been at it with Halo for 10 years, you know.
But the thing is, but the difference between Halo and FIFA is if you're someone who's going to spend so much on Ultimate Team, like this into the six figures, you're not going to play the same FIFA for 5 years.
You never know. There's some hardcore players out there still playing FIFA 2016 or FIFA 2017. You never know.
The hardcore soccer fans or the hardcore FIFA fans are going to get the next FIFA the day it comes out.
You sure about that?
The only way they won't do it is if they can't afford it.
I mean, the hardcore Call of Duty fans, you don't see them buying it every year. They stick with what their Modern Warfare 2019, or they stick with what's it called, the original Black Ops 1 and stuff like that. So,
dude, look at Madden. Everyone, you're telling me there aren't people who buy every single Madden every single year?
Not a lot.
What the changes are?
Not a lot.
No, but there's people out there that do.
I mean, I can't keep up with all the game libraries expanding. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm one of those gamers that don't take breaks or don't have no life, but you know, as a 33-year-old man, you know, who's been at the game and for how many decades now, you know, it catches up to you after a while. You know, you start to have bad hand problems and you're hunched over most of the time, lower back problems, stuff like that. So that's just one example of being a hardcore gamer, is that you have the markings on your body. You have the markings on your being as a gamer. You know what I'm saying? I know I sound like
also if you're not taking care of yourself.
Well, if I play too many games at one point, then that's what happens after a while. So.
Well, yeah, but when you start to feel bad, you turn the game off and you find out what the problem is.
Well, it's obvious that if I play too many Halo games at one point, my hands will start to hurt me more than ever. So, and I'm going to see the doctor about that this year. So,
and that's with most controllers too. Like the Dreamcast had that problem, where like if you played for like over a couple hours straight, it felt like you were playing on nails.
Really?
The NES controller was like a block of wood.
Well, okay, it's one thing with because the Super Nintendo system, I had the docks version of controllers. It's called docks controllers, and my mom got them for me, knowing that it was a better deal than buying SNES controllers. So when I got the docks controllers, it was much more comfortable to play with.
Yeah, but the SNES controllers really weren't as uncomfortable as the NES controllers, in my opinion.
Right.
But I'm just saying, it's kind of backwards, because no one could spend that much time on FIFA, and no FIFA fan is going to spend nearly 3 years trying to unlock the Ultimate Team in Ultimate FIFA.
There are people out there willing to take the sacrifice, even if it affects their family member relationships, or it affects their livelihood, or affects their health altogether. You know.
If they're making that kind of sacrifice, I'm telling you, I think they would buy the new FIFA immediately when it comes out. And with FIFA coming out every year, it's kind of an unreachable task, because the people that would be committed enough to try to get the best of everything in Ultimate Team would just want to go to the next FIFA when it came out.
You have a point.
That's the way I think of it. Anyway, Oh, did you hear that Microsoft might be purchasing Discord?
Yes, and I think that's going to be. I wouldn't say horrible at first, but it's going to be wondering to myself what are they going to do with the Discord altogether, because now they can use their policies onto Discord saying that we will track your every single conversation, we will save every conversation, and most of the gamers left Microsoft's messaging system, like the Xbox messaging stuff like that, because they keep track of everything that you do on there. So that's their policy. If you read their Xbox terms of service back in 10 years ago, excuse me. So, even
Well,
hell, even now.
most places that let you record your speech probably are keeping tabs on what you say anyway. But the thing is, I'm thinking it might be a good thing if Microsoft purchased it. Could you imagine using Discord on Xbox Live or on your Xbox period?
Yeah, you don't have to go on the PC anymore or as often.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that would be cool if like Discord became an app on your Xbox One or Xbox Series.
Well, Triple J though, like I said to you, like I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy or a pessimist or whatever, but based upon what I hear from other gamers who are younger than us, especially, some of them have actual contemplations to leave certain services in gaming because of invasion of privacy. So we gamers are smartening up. So I understand where they come from, these gamers, but having Discord with Microsoft is kind of like when they want to take over everything of your life in a sense. If you think about it, because people put a lot of time and effort into Discord. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So.
Well, the thing is, most people also, but the thing is, anything on the internet, anything that uses the internet that like to record your speech or broadcast your speech, obviously someone's listening.
Yeah.
You just accept that, or you don't use the internet. But the thing is, like I would much rather Microsoft purchasing Discord instead of someone like Google.
Okay.
I mean, look what Google did to YouTube. I mean,
they made it better at the same time worse.
They just made it worse, actually.
It's a give and take.
2021 YouTube is much worse than 2008 YouTube.
Or 2006, actually.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to 2008, and it's still much worse than what we had in 2008 when Google took over. And so I wouldn't want Google to buy Discord and put Susan Wojcicki in charge of Discord and let her do to Discord what she did to YouTube.
Definitely, I understand the feeling.
So I mean, it was just like when Twitch was purchased by Amazon. Google was originally going to buy it, and the people who created Twitch took like $960 million cut. Google was offering $2.3 billion for Twitch, and the people who owned Twitch and created Twitch rejected the offer.
Of course.
And then they sold it to Amazon for $960 million because they didn't want Google to do to Twitch what they said they were going to do. So, like I said, if it's Microsoft purchasing Discord, I see, I see it maybe as a positive. That way you don't have to get Discord on your computer, and you could use Discord to talk to your friends while you're playing Xbox games. That would be pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, instead of use the Xbox Party Channel all the time, because the Xbox Party Channel has been having problems for the past couple of years now. So right. I'm trying to say is that if we give Microsoft this opportunity to buy the Discord, they may either make it worse, so much worse, or it'll be so much better. It's a 50-50, so.
Yeah, I think they would use it better, just because of their business practices. Buying up game studios and stuff. They're just trying to buy everything, so they have like the ultimate package when it comes to gaming. So I really think if they bought Discord, you would see it on Xbox. Shortly after they purchased it.
eventually though, and I shouldn't make this announcement really, but eventually I might have to hold off on buying Xbox products altogether before the summertime, because by the summertime I'm gonna be running out of Xbox Gold, and I can play free to play games like Apex Legends and Fortnite and stuff like that, but that's about it. And stick with my offline games, whatever. So. And maybe I'll move on to buying and investing more in PC gaming. Try to buy a new PC sometime this year. The renewable one that I told you about earlier before the conversation we had on with the audience here. So, I'm not trying to say that I hate Microsoft or I want Microsoft to be out of business or whatever. It's just that the way they've been doing things for the last at least 3 years, to my awareness, thanks to my friend, Enjoy Gaming and his community of friends, they started to smarten up and go for PC gradually. So gradually they're moving into PC like I'm about to after the spring of this year. So.
Okay, but I mean, at the same time, coming switching to PC gaming does have its own risk. Like, sometimes you might have to install something and it's more complicated than installing a program.
Well, for what I was told by,
like if you need more RAM or something.
For what I was told by these network of gamers, they told me that there's a program on the computer for certain. I'm not sure it was from Discord, not Discord. It's from Steam, and what Steam does is that it recovers your files and reinstalls them without doing the entire installation. So if you install it one time and you want to fix what's going on with the game, you'll have to uninstall and reinstall. You just partially reinstall because whatever's missing, the file's missing, they'll recover it. So that's how smart
I'm not talking about files. I'm talking like if your computer specifications don't reach what is required to play the game, you might have to take some people can take their computers apart and put in RAM, or some people just build their rig from scratch so they have the best everything so they can handle whatever game they want. And I just think if you're going to get into PC gaming, you should have those skills. Otherwise, you might run into problems later.
But here's the thing, though, James. I'm not trying to say I don't want to learn something new. It's just that not every gamer or every consumer, let alone that, is a technical person or a tech support person. They're just there to use the product.
That's the point.
What?
Exactly. That's my point.
Well, what's your point?
I'm saying, not everyone could do it. I couldn't do it. That's why I stick to console gaming. But the thing is, I'm saying you should, if you're going to get into if you're going to get into PC gaming rather, you should know at least some of that stuff, because what happens if your computer all of a sudden is too slow because you don't have enough RAM? Or what if your specifications aren't up to snuff? You can't just go out and buy another computer that's in the 4 figures.
You got a point, yes.
Some of the best gaming laptops are like in the 4 or 5, well, not 5 figures, but they're in the 4 figures, and that's just for gaming laptops. PCs are a lot more.
Yeah, the Alienware is the most expensive brand of laptop and desktop PC computers for a gaming PC.
Yeah. As how much does a top of the line gaming PC cost? And I'm seeing a typical gaming. This is off Google. A typical gaming PC. Actually, let me go to. Let me show so people can see this on Twitch, and so you can see it too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, people are seeing it on Twitch, Discord, stream. Here we go. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to load on Discord, and then
sure.
To the article. Okay. Now I'll go back to the article.
$2,000.
A typical gaming PC will cost you between $800 and $1,200. However, if you want to run high-end games with the 60 plus frame rate on max settings, you may need to pay as much as $2,000. The final cost depends very much on what is you're looking for to get out of your new rig.
Mm-hmm. Alienware is one of the most expensive ones, I bet.
Yeah, so I mean, so basically, it's like what you need to know what kind of games you want to play. If you're gonna go into PC gaming, because you gotta make sure your computer can handle it.
Well, I'm not into all the 60 frames, 120 frames per second, 4K, all the schematics and stuff. No, I'm into this simple 720p, 30 frames a second, sometimes 60 frames a second, depends on which game I'm talking about to play, and that's it. Other than that, if you have a good audio card, video card, a GPU card, iCore, there's like iCore 5 at least,
Okay, I mean, I guess you could just pick settings. You could pick. You don't have to have the best settings, but as long as the game's playable and looks presentable.
And the biggest thing on my priority of being a PC gamer for the first time in years is not about the gaming quality and video per se, graphics and all the schematics. It's about disk space. I have at least an extra terabyte hard drive I'm using, and I'm down to about 10 gigabytes left over. So the next game I want to download is going to be another 50 at most, especially if it's a big game like Tomb Raider or something. So
yeah, that's true. But they do have external hard drives that you could use for your PC also.
And after a while, buying external hard drives, it's going to be like, one of those things, like I have to go big on that. I have to buy 4 terabyte or even a 5 terabyte hard drive.
Well, it depends what you want to save. I mean, aren't there websites online where you can back up your files so you don't have to keep them on your PC?
I want
goes out of business.
I want to keep them on PC. I don't want it up in the cloud. Like my personal files are mixed in with my gaming files by mistake, so
Okay, well, I'm just saying, some people keep external hard drives. Like my grandfather, for example, he had a bunch of files on external hard drives, but then again he could purchase, whatever external hard drive would cost.
Right.
And like you said, regardless how much game, well, actually that's not true because Red Dead Redemption 2 was like 101 gigabytes.
Yes.
With games that big, 1 terabyte hard drive would not take long to fill up.
Mm-hmm. I won't eventually buy a 4 terabyte because this time the today's 4 terabyte hard drives don't require power cords to turn them on. Just plugging them in, and it'll just turn automatically, and that's it. Just make sure you have enough power coming out of the PC. So. Right.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, if that's, I'll be sticking with Xbox for the foreseeable future. And since we were talking about games with gold, we might as well talk about that next. Did you see the lineup for April's games with gold?
Unfortunately, no. And I heard that the Xbox Live is turned to Xbox Network sometime this year.
Yeah, so. but that's something different. Well, I have the video pulled up, so I'll share my screen with you on Discord, while everyone else can see it on Twitch, and then I'll play the video of what games for gold they're offering.
Mm-hmm.
I have to warn you, the music over the video is going to be louder than the narrator, but there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, they must have made a mistake.
The person who recorded this video screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let this video play, and we'll talk about the games that offer.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Games with Gold month you can't miss, with hit games that are all playable on Xbox One.
Is that Sunset Drive?
Kicking off the lineup on April 1st for Xbox One is the entire season.
Wolf of, I already got that. I already got that as part of the Games with Gold.
Comics Vertigo game, the
could have sworn I think I had it for Games with Gold.
On April 16th, get the Xbox One exclusive Sunset Overdrive.
I got that for $8 Sunset Overdrive. I already got Dead Space. That was already Games with Gold many years ago. That was also for Games with Gold as well. Not bad, but still.
Okay, so let me. Okay, now.
I have to say that I already got most of what they offered for April. I already got.
That's what I was gonna say too. Let's just start. Let's just go through the games very quickly. The Wolf Among Us. I already played it, and I already got the best ending. So
I just started playing it last week or earlier this week, I should say.
Oh, you already have the Wolf Among Us?
Yeah, I had it for Games with Gold many years ago.
Oh, really? It came out already?
Yeah, years ago.
I thought games only came out where like a Games with Gold one time, and that was it.
They started to become repetitive as of late, I heard.
Okay. So, Wolf Among Us, anyway, I purchased the game. I played it all the way through, got the best ending. So it's not something I would play again. Next was Sunset Overdrive, which I liked at first, but I have to say I never finished it, and I really didn't have the drive to finish it. How about you?
Wolf Among Us? I only played so far up to the first chapter of the first episode.
Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, I already got that game for years ago. I think we played it together.
Yeah, you had it when I visited you, but I'm saying, did you ever finish it?
No, it's not that good of a game to me. No offense. It looks good on paper. I mean, what they, you get to have a good-looking woman, as a player, and you get to destroy these monsters with your buzzsaw and stuff like that, and all well and good. But after a while, it's like there's no actual story really. If there is a story, it's not as fluent and it's not as
okay. And now the Xbox 360 games, Dead Space is probably the only game I would download this month, because I have Dead Space 2 and 3, but I just don't have the original.
Okay. I have Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 as part of my Games with Gold, most likely.
Well, I have 2 and 3, although 2 I'll probably never play again because I'm kind of stuck like in a bad situation with very little health, and I've tried to get my way out of there, but I just keep dying. Dead Space 3 I still have and will still play. I'm not in a totally bad situation like Dead Space 2, but the original Dead Space I never had digitally. But I did own it for Xbox 360 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last game, Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4, I've beaten it. I've beaten the actual game. The only reason I might download it is to get the DLC that I never got.
Right.
Did you ever play Saints Row 4?
Unfortunately, not yet. I still have it. I have it for years on my Xbox, and I never got just to play it yet.
Okay. What, are you just not a big fan of Grand Theft Auto games, or because that's what kind of Saints Row is kind of like?
I think I played Saints Row with Kevin, if you remember him, that guy again. We played that at his house for a few minutes.
Didn't. Saints Row wasn't around then.
Well, the first Saints Row back in 2008.
No, the first Saints Row came out like 2006.
Yeah, in 2008 I met Kevin again. Remember, like the same guy that
you met him. I'd always come out of my life by this point.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I didn't. Like I said, I just didn't know at the time of the situation between you and him. So
yeah, Saints Row first came out August of 2006.
Right.
And
So
I already knew I couldn't trust Kevin. So
yes, I
at the time.
understand. I understand.
But the thing is, like Saints Row the third, I played and beat. Saints Row fourth, I got on release day, which was 2013. And I have this double pack of Saints Row 1 and 2 for Xbox 360.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, Saints Row 4 maybe to get the DLC, but I also have Saints Row 4 for sale if anyone wants to buy it from me. But yeah, so like I'm saying, it's a good gaming lineup, but it's just, to me, it's games that I either beat already or have no interest in, with the exception of Dead Space.
Right. Right.
So the next topic, well, you already brought this up. Xbox Live changes their name to Xbox Network. But from what I heard, it's just a name change. It's,
But something's going to change with that name no matter what. They're going to do something different after network is being placed as far as on the dashboard of the Xbox. So
how do you know? How do you know it's just not? How do you know it's? Who says it can't just be a name change?
it's just a hunch because PlayStation Network already has their own name and Xbox Live had their own distinct name, Xbox Live. So they try to act like Sony all of a sudden, Xbox, in my perspective,
I pulled up an article about it. Let's see. Xbox Live is being rebranded as Xbox Network by Microsoft. The first instance for the change in name, where clips were uploaded to Xbox Network rather than Xbox Live, appeared for Xbox beta testers on the Xbox dashboard recently. That's weird because I was playing Madden 19 earlier, and when they uploaded game clips, it was still saying Xbox Live.
Okay.
And Xbox Live was introduced in 2002 for the original Xbox and has been updated some way or another. The online service was launched for gamers to connect and interact with their friends who own consoles, download games, and much more. Xbox Network refers to the underlying Xbox Online service, which was updated in the agreement. The update from Xbox Live to Xbox Network is intended to distinguish the underlying service from Xbox Live Gold memberships. Microsoft had hinted about the name change, though its service agreement in August 2020, but didn't make an official announcement yet. Xbox Network, formerly Xbox Live, is the company's online service that lets gamers play online, interact with friends, and download games. Without this, users cannot access any internet-based service on the consoles. Microsoft is also planning to remove the Xbox Live subscription requirement for free-to-play games like Fortnite and Apex Legends in the future. However, the company hasn't announced when the paywall for the games will be removed. So basically, all that's in other Xbox-related news, EA Play was introduced to Xbox Game Pass, free of cost of subscribers first on Xbox and subsequently to subscribers on Windows. This brings titles like FIFA 20, Need for Speed Heat, Battlefield 5, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to subscribers. So basically, what they're saying is, if you have like Xbox games with gold, you're not going to have access to free-to-play games.
Okay.
So you're going to have to subscribe to Xbox Network to do that.
To play free-to-play games.
So games with gold will still be a thing. It's just they're separating the services. That's why there's a name change.
Hence the change. That's what I explained earlier. I'm not saying I'm not Mr. Know-It-All, but the fact that they changed it to network, they're going to do something different.
Yeah, they said the free-to-play games aren't going to be free unless you subscribe to Xbox Network.
Really? That's the new news? Okay.
That's so far. That's all the changes that they've mentioned. And
okay.
And the thing is, the free-to-play games. I mean, most of the free-to-play games are demos anyway. I mean, except maybe Fortnite and Apex Legends are free-to-play. But the thing is, I mean, I bet you like 6 months, 12 months after it goes into effect, we're probably not going to notice. We're probably not going to notice anything. It's not going to be anything noticeable.
Well, if you just have silver membership, that means is that you cannot play all the free-to-play games that's supposed to be free-to-play. Only Apex and no Fortnite will be free-to-play, and even before then, you have to have like Xbox Gold in order to play free-to-play for some strange reason. So.
Okay, so I mean, I don't use the free to play anyway, so it doesn't really bother me.
All right.
And like I said, the 4 free games a month, whether you have them already or not, is a bargain for $60 a year.
Yes.
So yeah, it really doesn't bother me. It might bother you out there, but the only thing I'm wondering is like. They have demos. That's how I found out about the Plague Tale Innocence. That's the only demo I've actually played on Xbox One. I'm just wondering if those demos will still be available for free.
They should still be. You'll have to have gold in order to play demos. It's like the games from like the PS2 era, where you go to your store and they'll offer you a free demo disc with the game that you purchased. And or if you're buying a magazine subscription, they'll give you a demo disc as well. So it's kind of like that almost in a sense. So it's like you already paid for the system, you already paid for the game, and not only that, you also pay for the services through your credit card of whether you buy a game or a DLC or whatever. So they have to give you the demo for free.
Well, they don't have to. They could also make demos part of Xbox Network. The thing is, I played, like I said, I played a couple of demos. I played a Plague Tale Innocence, which then I purchased the full game, and then I played Killer Instinct.
Okay.
And when I found out you can only play as 2 characters in Killer Instinct, I really didn't care about it anymore. In the demo, anyway.
Right.
And now from Microsoft to Sony will be shutting down their PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita digital stores.
And that's a bad move on their part because there's still players still playing PSP to this day.
Yeah, and PS Vita. PS Vita's the new one.
I heard PS Vita had a horrible sale launch.
But I'm saying the digital stores that you could reach through these consoles, they're going to be gone in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I purchased when I moved down here. I purchased before I left. I purchased Medieval. No, actually, I already had these games, but when I was working at Sloman's, I purchased Medieval and the first 2 Crash Bandicoots off PlayStation Network. I was able to transfer them to my PSP.
Right.
That's the only time I really bought digital games.
Yeah, back then, digital games itself to buy from the store on the PSP and PS Vita were very new to us older gamers. So
yeah, and also like I've tried to play Medieval on my PS3 or Crash Bandicoot, but I just can't find a way to save. Somehow on my PSP, I can save where I leave off. But when I try to do it on my PS3, it's just like, where am I saving? How do I save my game?
Is it a remake?
Huh?
Is it a remaster you play of Medieval?
No, I purchased the PS1 version of PlayStation Network.
I see.
But you're not going to be able to do that anymore starting this summer.
That's not good. Because they make it people buy the remasters of Medieval and Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, Spiral Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot Nitro Fueled.
Well, I don't know, because people could always turn around and just buy the older versions. Thing is, some of those games cost a bundle.
See what I mean? They're making us pay for something that's already out there for many years. It's just that it's been remastered or been ported, like an HD port of sorts at best, or at least to the newer systems. Hence, Xbox One.
Medieval. So. I'm gonna look up a couple of these games that we brought up, but Medieval loose goes for over $25.
The PS1 version.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Twisted Metal. The PS1 version loose goes for $20.
Okay.
Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back.
That's what it costs at least $100.
No, it goes for $9. loose.
$9. Oh, I'm talking about brand new. I'm sorry.
Dude, no one's gonna buy brand new to play it.
You never know. I
That
did it.
person's an idiot because there's not many brand new copies out there. So basically, if you get a brand new game now, you would just be getting it for collector's reasons.
To be honest with you, I purchased the Bouncer for PS2 for about $80 back 5 years ago. So brand new
for PS2.
Her was a
That's
good
only
game to
about
play.
That's about $12 loose.
Yes, because I wanted the game manual. I wanted everything.
Complete is $21. So
But it's hard to find that in the most descriptions because if you go on eBay or especially on Amazon, they'll say that it's disc only. The manual may be missing. This may be scratched. So you know what? I want to get the brand new edition. Like forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
let's put that to the test. The Bouncer PS2 complete. I'll type that in. The Bouncer PS2 complete. And yeah, I'm finding complete copies for $25, $30. One guy selling it for $40.
That's not bad.
So yeah, but why would you pay? My point is, take the Bouncer for example. Why would you pay $80 when you could pay $40 for a complete copy?
It's brand new. The fact that it's never been touched, it's never been in horrible conditions. The one that's already in stock for brand new was never mishandled for years. So you get the better product or the better condition of the product.
Or you could just take a minute to look at the pictures of complete versions. You could tell if the disc or game was mishandled.
That too.
Through the pictures. Like I'm saying, unless you're a collector, there's really no reason to buy brand new copies of retro games.
Yeah, point.
Because when collectors buy a brand new copy of a retro game, they put it on their shelf and just have it as a display item. Heck yeah, I even purchased FIFA 2006 for Xbox, brand new at the CD store a block away from where I used to work in Rockville Center from CD Island, and I ended up never opening it. I ended up just selling it.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, the only time you would buy a new game to play is when it first came out. Otherwise, just get the complete version, and you'll see in the pictures if the game or case was mishandled. If the case looks like it's cracked, just don't buy it. Buy it from someone else.
Some game collectors or gamers or both don't like to have the used condition, even if it's a better cost or a better deal, because it's a risk it's a higher risk with buying from the internet of games like that. If you're at a flea market and you see the Bouncer for not even $10 and have everything brand new, then I can understand that. But that's the flea market. Now, if you buy it online, you're taking a risk. Buyer beware,
Really, because websites like Amazon, eBay, price charting, if you get a game and the seller misled you on the condition, they have to let you return it and get your money back.
That's what I like about,
because those websites will step in if they don't if they say, oh, this game pristine, new condition, and then you get the game and it's falling apart, they have to accept the game back if they misled you.
Yeah, point. That's what I like about Amazon and especially not only eBay, but especially Amazon, because Amazon has a high tendency of a high standard type of policy with most sellers, because the sellers have to give what is stated on their website. I'm not obviously saying but I'm just saying the fact that you don't see me go outside of Amazon or eBay as much to find games that I want to get. Because let's face it, if you go on let's say a Discord chat room or what's that website, Craigslist. You know, you're taking a huger risk, a bigger risk.
Yeah, Craigslist is a huge risk because you might show up to buy a PS4 and then get pistol whipped.
Yes. Like, give me the money now. And I'm like, no, give me the game first. Give me the money. The game first. Money, game, money, game. Shut up. Bam, 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 bam. You shot me. All he wanted was the bouncer. Ugh.
You made me play this. I'm playing something. You made me play this. That's all I'm gonna say.
Play what?
You'll see.
Okay, I don't see no sound yet. Hear no sound. Oh, you still playing it?
That's actually not what I wanted.
Might have to go to YouTube for that because Google has different search styles.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go to YouTube.
Yeah, Google has a broad search system because it's much bigger than YouTube.
That's why you. Okay, this is the scene. Yeah, this. Wait a minute, that's not it. No. This is it.
The worst acting ever in the room.
Hey, Denny. Chris R., I've been looking for you. Yeah, sure you have. You have my money, right? Yeah, it's coming. It'll be here in a few minutes. What do you mean it's coming, Denny? Where's my money? Okay, just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 5. 5 minutes? You want 5 fucking minutes, Denny? You know what? I've got 5 fucking minutes! I'm gonna ask you again, Danny. Where's my money? I don't have any, baby. Where's my money, Danny?
Where's my fucking money, Danny? Did you with my fucking money?
Where's my fucking money?
My fucking money! Where's my fucking money, Danny? Wait till this got killed. Fuck, look at that shit!
Let's take him to the police.
Fucking dead!
Are you okay?
You made me play that.
Hey, it happens every day at Craigslist, right? Like, where's my fucking bouncer game? Where is it? Holy shit.
What?
$10 for the bouncer.
Yeah.
But that's on
Okay,
Craigslist, though, is it? Or price charting? Okay.
Price charting.
Okay, never mind.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to spend $80 on the bouncer unless you want to buy it for collector reasons.
That too. That's my reasons. I like to play and collect.
No, you can't play and collect because collectors wouldn't open it. Collectors would keep it in its original wrap.
Well, let's just say that you're willing to take another risk where it's like you want to play in a pristine
As a matter of fact,
condition.
some collectors, they buy 2 copies of the game. One they can keep like in plastic wrap. One they can keep in its original wrapping, and the other game they can open. The other copy of the game they can open and play.
That's why they were with Final Fantasy VII Third Year Cerebrus. I paid 2 of them by mistake. I wanted to have 1 of them, but I was able to afford it by mistake. I bought it by mistake, 2 of them. So, but I just want to say, as like a person of a different style or different mode of being a collector / gamer, it's just that I like to see something new for the first time. Like, let's say, for example, back in the 1990s. Back in the year 1999, D2 came out, and it was Funkoland, right? That it said GameStop. You wouldn't
Right.
expect to go to Funkoland for buying it for $15, $10, brand new, or whatever the condition was now that it looked new, whatever. Because D2 is considered one of the weirdest games to play for the Dreamcast at the time. So what I'm trying to say is that when it was brand new at the time, the atmosphere was like it's worth as a collector and a gamer. Like if you take care of your games very well, it will still be in good condition no matter what. Just don't
Of
make sure to
course.
put it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say from my perspective, that's back then. But then decades later, you want to buy D2 again. That's if you want it, because I already got D2. So I'm just trying to say is that it's all about at the right moment, at the right time of the nostalgia. That's what I'm trying to point out.
Well, the thing is, but the thing is also some games it's impossible to keep the condition, like PS1, PS2, Xbox 360. I think the lasers end up scratching the disc sometimes.
Really? Oh yeah, that happens.
But I think it's impossible for it to happen in Xbox One, because if you realize the disc is like much thicker, it looks like there's something protecting the disc.
Definitely. It's a coat. It's like a coat they put on a disc to make sure it doesn't scratch too much.
Yeah, so the only time you would have to buy a game again, unless you already sold it, was if like your original copy stopped working.
Right.
But even then, it also depends on the game. Darkness the Curse, he's reviewing every Mega Man game, and like he has a Mega Man game for PlayStation that sells for like $450. He's got the game complete in case, but he got it when it was brand new, when it was being sold for like $30 in stores, and he just never sold his copy.
Okay.
So like I said, if you were gonna buy it for collector reasons, that's one thing, but collectors don't open their games. If some collectors will buy 2 copies of the game and open one, so they still have a.
Of course, makes sense. Obviously,
they have a brand new one, but then again, you gotta get into money issues. That's
what I'm trying to say. I have money coming.
Neither of us have that kind of money where we can, buy games that are 20 years old, brand new copies.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Depends on how you feel about the game. For example, the bouncer. Like I'll go back to that. I heard good things. I seen the commercial when I was young. I was like, wow, this is nice. I want to buy it. But I never got a chance to until 2016. Lost that copy somewhere out in the streets. I don't know what I was doing, but let's just say that it's too late. And I gotta buy a new one. So.
Yes, but take a game everyone loves, like Super Mario Bros. 3. To buy a brand new Super Mario Bros. 3 for Nintendo, you gotta spend over $3,000.
Is it that expensive now? God damn.
Or you could buy a loose cartridge for $18.
Or I could buy the Super Nintendo Super Mario All Stars for about $100, brand new, if I can find it.
Or you could buy that for the Wii for like $10.
Or the one I have already in possession, I already could play. So yeah.
Right. and I already have Super Mario All Stars for the Wii, so.
Yes, that too.
Anyway, so I think this is where we're going to end things. Next podcast, let me check the date.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys, if I sound very petty and very redundant and stupid about what I said for the last 10, 15 minutes. It's just that, I guess from a standpoint of a poor person collector, you're considered to be poor by society, but you can still buy stuff. So it's not like, you can't afford to buy certain things. Just that, as a frugal man on my own stance, on my own being, that's what I think of, so.
Okay, well, our next podcast, podcast episode 18, will be on April 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching me on Twitch, make sure you follow me so you know when I go live. I also stream games throughout the week. But the next podcast episode will be on April 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, and I also do recordings. I record the show myself on my end, on my perspective, that is, every time I'm with Triple J here on as a podcast every 2 weeks, as often as possible. So you'll see our Patreons with the certain clips, or if you want to pay for it for the full episodes, you just go to our $1 tier at least, and you can order it from there. I see our podcast unlimited over the course of time.
Yes, if you want to listen to old podcast episodes, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/rapperjjj or patreon.com/
Dr. Games 101.
patreon.com/drgames101. Go to either of our Patreons, join us at the $1 a month level, and you'll have access to all old podcast episodes.
Definitely.
Okay, and the next one will be on April 10th at 9 p.m. So for Dr. Games 101, I am Triple J. Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.